Just gonna introduce myself really quickly. Hi guys, my name is Charmaine, and I run a blog called The Canadian Wonder, and I run this Instagram page. I focus on budget travel and living abroad. And then I've been hosting these IG lives with people from different fields of expertise. And today I have Nancy with me. And Nancy's a digital nomad who's been traveling the world. I've been looking all over your Instagram, so I know. But yeah, did you want to really quickly introduce yourself?
Yes. Okay. So I'm Nancy. I'm Vietnamese American from Texas, and I have been a digital nomad for like a couple years, like 1.5 now. And the way I do it is just freelancing. Like I started as a freelance YouTube marketer, and now I help coach people so that they can also work for themselves online so that they can travel and go wherever they want.
Awesome. So I do have prepared a couple of questions for you today to outline our conversation. So first thing is, I feel like this term digital nomad is so popular these days. How would you define what is a digital nomad?
Okay, so a digital nomad for me, and like the general term, I guess people would, or like what a general person would say is someone that travels or moves often and they get their income mostly online. That's the digital part of digital nomad. And then nomad is just people moving, but that the way people move is broad. Like they could like live in one place and stay there for many, many years and still be a digital nomad if their income is mostly coming remotely. Or they could be moving around like every few days, something like that. Like the way they travel is broad. It could be however they want to travel. So I try not to limit people to a certain way they travel. They could be RV, life, like, or they could be going from Airbnb to Airbnb. Like the way they travel is whatever they want, very personal, individual. But the main thing that all digital nomads have in common is that they're making money online.
Amazing. And how is your digital nomad style? What is your digital nomad style?
So for me, I like to stay in places a couple months at a time and then travel like from place to place, or I like to take breaks and come home, like recuperate. But I prefer to travel slow. Like some people like to go to as many places as possible. I'd rather go to a few places and really get to know it deeply. So that's my style. I prefer to like make really good friends there, have the locals get to know me, have regular things. Like I love it when a restaurant knows my order because I come so often. And yeah, just like when the people know my name and they recognize me, I think that's like really special because I'm like, oh, I'm part of the community now. So my style, I would say, is just slow, like traveling slow.
Yeah, and I think that's really important too, because people always say like slow travel is the better way of saving money. Because when you're on a 2 week trip, you want to do everything, just splurge and splurge.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
agree.
so slow travel is a different type of traveling. Is like, you're not going out to attractions and spending like $100 a day because you're never gonna come back.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you don't see, like, you don't have that mentality. Like, you're like, oh, I could do that next week, or I could come back and do it later, something like that. Versus, like, yeah, trying to take advantage of the short time you have because you don't have a short time. You have a long time and you want your money to last longer. So you're more picky with the things you do too. And then you also find, like, because you're there for so long, you're able to see, like, how locals would save or where you could save money and stuff like that. So, really,
And I, yeah, and I like how you talked about how like basically you try to get to know the neighborhood and you keep going to the same cafe so people kind of know you and then you kind of get to know the environment as well.
that's my favorite part. Like meeting the people and like really getting integrated into the community is my like absolute favorite. Like I like love having a group and love like if I have the chance to come back, like they would recognize me. And yeah, I just like my favorite part about traveling is building relationships. And that's like a big reason why like I travel slow and I like to come back to places because it's like I just love like the people I meet and I don't want to like just leave and forget them.
Yeah, absolutely. I already have one question already, which is a question that I was going to ask anyways next. But here we have Felico, who's actually one of my friends, and she said, "How did you get started to becoming a digital nomad?"
Okay, so when I was first deciding that I wanted to do this, I tried so many different ways to make money online. That's like the main thing you want to focus on. And like I did so much, like print on demand, which is like selling t-shirts with cool designs. And that's like really cool and passive. Like you just need like people to buy them and you put the design up, and then like there's companies that will print the shirts for you and ship them for you. And then I also like tried like handmade things, but like I wasn't making them, I was just selling them. I tried like affiliate marketing. There were so many ways. What else? Oh, and my big thing was YouTube. Like I was like, I'm gonna be a travel blogger and all this. And like I traveled a lot and I had a lot of footage that I could use. But in the end, like my freelance marketing, which is what I was doing, and specifically freelance YouTube marketing, was what was like getting me income. It was what I could like scale so that I could continue becoming a digital nomad, continue making money online. So for me, like I tried a bunch of different things, and then whatever stuck was what I kept with. And for what I like help with my clients, like I think freelancing is the best way because it's a skill. It's like a service online, and you don't need money to start. You just can start with the skills you have. You just have to find a way to make it remote. And then that's like the most scalable way, because otherwise you're like you like have to do a lot of like investment investment effort. Yeah. So yeah, like I think the best way for other people to start is with a service that they can do, because it's like low barrier. Like you don't have a lot of hurdles to get through to start selling a service online versus like selling a product. You usually need a lot more people to buy it. And if you're just a regular person, you're not like an influencer, you don't already have so much money, then you can't really get a lot of people to buy a product. So services are a lot better for people to start becoming a digital nomad.
Yeah, I've actually heard about that too, about freelancing is the best way because it's a low cost. There's actually no cost really. It's just your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You just start posting online what you do and then start getting clients and then slowly build up from there.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I think that's how we like first connected, because I was like posting so much online in like Facebook groups, and that's how we were connecting. That's so cute. Oh, and like you build a relationship like that too, which is
absolutely. I love that. Yeah, and I know you mentioned about like YouTube. I know like your focus was like YouTube SEO and building YouTube traffic. Is this a skill that you kind of like learned in order to become a digital nomad, or is this a skill you already had and then you're just scaling from there?
Yeah, I already had it. Like this was like I love SEO. Like I was kind of a nerd for it. I went to school for marketing, and like the way I learned SEO. Oh, so if anyone doesn't know, SEO is search engine optimization, which is whenever you look something up on Google, on YouTube, it's like what makes the content pop up. So like on YouTube, if you look up how to tie your shoes, the videos that come up at top, if they're not ads, are search engine optimized for you to find them. So that's what I was doing. And I went to school for marketing and I loved SEO. I did it for an internship. And so then whenever I started my YouTube channel, that was like one of my favorite parts to do, because I loved SEO. I love doing research on the types of videos I could make. And that was what led me to want to do it for other people, because I got a lot of good results on my own channel. Like my videos were getting thousands of views because people were finding them. And then I was like, oh, I can help other people. I can help businesses that do it. I can help other travel bloggers, other people on YouTube. And then that's what prompted me to start selling it as a service online.
Nice. And I mean, I did SEO a little bit as well, but I do it for SEO for blogs. Is it a little bit different for SEO blogs and YouTube?
I wouldn't say it's different, but for me, I didn't like writing as much as I like making videos, talking. It's just not for me. So then that's what I also recommend other people to do too. Like, do what they like to do. Like, if you're going to try to make it work, make sure you like it and you're working more than like other things in your life. So definitely look into the skills you have, the skills you like doing, the skills that like you could see yourself doing for a while because that's what you want to sell. And so.
And also, like, does it, do you do SEO research, I guess? Which tool do you use?
I mostly use Keywords Ad Planner.
Keyword Ad Planner. Okay.
Yeah, I do. But
nice.
It depends on the client. Sometimes they prefer others and then I would use it. But for me, generally, I use Keywords Ad Planner.
Oh, cool. I actually never heard that one. I know I've used, what is it called? Keywords Everywhere.
I used to use that.
Is it called Keywords Everywhere? I think it's called Keywords Everywhere. And then there's another one that's really popular within blog, but I haven't used it for a while. Key Search? Is it called Key Search?
I think so.
Have you heard of it? I think it's called Key Search. So Key Search is a really popular one, and Keywords Everywhere I really like as well.
Do you do this for your work or for your clients or like on the side? When do you?
Yeah, I use it for my own blogs.
Oh, wait, you write blogs too?
Yeah. So I ran a blog, and then this is, I guess, my Instagram is an extension of my blog.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. That's cool.
So I did it for like. And then I was going to ask you, so talking about freelancing, because I know like obviously there's so many ways you can get clients, but is there a certain platform that you use to get clients?
So it has changed within my career. At first, I started with Facebook groups because it was like the easiest. I didn't know I didn't know freelancing was going to be the route I took to work online. So I just did like the simplest way that I knew. I started with Facebook groups, but now I usually go on Upwork, which is another freelancing site. And they have a lot of different ways you can get clients. Sometimes it's like applying to jobs. And then sometimes it's like you post something you can do and then people come to you. So it depends like what you want. There's different ways. But yeah, that's how I usually get clients now.
Can you do both? Can you like have clients come to you and you propose? Because I know you could write proposal as well, right?
Yeah, you can definitely do both. It's however you want. It's
okay.
Your structure, and then so you can just do it however you'd like.
I like how you mentioned Facebook groups because I used to get a few freelance jobs on Facebook groups too, and I really like it because it's such a smaller community and you're so more competitive. Whereas like when you're on Upwork, there's so many people competing with you, and especially people who are from, let's say, in Asia, and they have like a lower wage, and they don't like, I feel like they don't charge as much.
Yeah, true. That is very true. Because like Facebook groups, they only have like a certain amount of people that they're targeting. So yeah, I really liked it when I was going on Facebook groups too. I keep saying I'll go back, but I just haven't yet.
Do you find Upwork to be more competitive and difficult because there's so many freelancers on that platform?
For me, I feel like competition is just an excuse. I don't like it to like cloud me or like prevent me from trying. So I don't really think about competition. And if anything, like you just have to work on standing out more if you do find that it's harder to get jobs. So you have to think of like a more creative way to stand out or make it seem like give them better results. It just helps you like improve better, honestly. So I haven't found it to be more competitive, especially now that like that is where I get most of my clients now. I don't think it's more competitive.
I think sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just said maybe I know how it works now, so I can say that.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it takes time for you to get to know a platform and to use it, like to maximize that platform. And I know, like, I think I was listening to a podcast once, and then they were saying how like some of these platforms is like you need to continuously do work, so then they would continue recognizes you, and then eventually after a while, they will start promoting for you because they see how consistent you are. Did you find any of that to be true, or do you see that kind of pattern?
I can see it with certain algorithms. So like on Upwork, like if you get more reviews for more jobs, then yeah, like more people would see that you're working well on the platform, and then they'll have a preference for you. And same with Fiverr, which is a popular one. Yeah, I could definitely see that. But there's also other ways to take advantage of the platform where you don't have to rely on the platform. I don't suggest that people rely on a platform necessarily, because if anything happens, then you need all your work and your connection. But that is like a way for you to utilize the platform because they prefer you.
Yeah. So what would you suggest for somebody who's, let's say, considering to use that platform, but, maybe having kind of, difficulty in the first month or two and getting clients? Like, how would you say, do you have any advice for that?
Wait, what did you say about the first month or two?
I was just saying, like, if they have trouble getting clients for like the first month or two, if you're new to the platform, like, is there any tips or advice that you would give for somebody to succeed on a platform like Upwork?
Yeah. Okay. So on Upwork and Fiverr, this could both work. I'd recommend you take like quick, easy, probably low paying jobs just so you can get your ratings high. You can get a lot of reviews. And this is just so like the algorithm favors you more. You have more reviews. People see you. It's not just the algorithm. It's also people, because they're like, oh, like they've already done X amount of jobs. They have this good rating. They can probably do my job well. So I suggest you take on these small jobs that shouldn't take up too much time. And then you just like build up your portfolio and your ratings on the platform.
That's a good tip. Yeah, I do notice that like, people have a lower rate. And I guess there's a good reason for that. Like you said, you want to start building up and getting those reviews in.
Yeah. And like sometimes people at first, they don't want to start at a lower rate. I also kind of like that, but it's not for long. And really, like, if you have never done this stuff, then like, why would anyone trust you to like do that? And then having a low rate gives them a better reason to hire you because you are less risky. So, and like, you're also not putting in that much risk either, because it's only like some of your time. It's a short amount of time. So you don't have to do a lot to get like a rating. And it's only for like a short period of time. You're not like losing like years of your life or anything like that. It's just a little bit so that you can build the portfolio. And then in the long run, it's better because then like you're getting paid more. They like see more value in you from the beginning, and then you can get better paying jobs.
Nice. Yeah, I've also read that like, you might be charging very little in the beginning, but then maybe like in a few months you could increase your rate very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And usually people are doing this like while they already have a job or they're already in school. Like it's not their main focus. So it's actually a really good time to start your freelancing career, and that's what you want to do, so that you aren't like worried, like you're not stressing over the money, because that's not what you want to do whenever you're like only working for $5.
Right.
So yeah, it's not too late to get started. It's actually a better time, honestly, to get started and like just see the water, like test it out.
Yeah, I like that. Like it's low risk because you still have a job, or you're not dependent on this job specifically, and you're just trying to get off the ground. So you're trying to build those connections, and you're trying to build like those reviews so people know who you are. Do you find that there are certain tasks that are shorter, like you mentioned, that is easier to do when you're starting out?
So I've heard of people doing like voiceover jobs. Like, yeah, that's cool. Some proofreading. Yeah, I think those are the quickest ones.
Okay,
that's
cool.
We do.
I'm taking notes too. So that sounds cool. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, if I don't have to spend that much time, why not? Right? Why not try something new and, get a bit of income, and at the same time, like you said, building your reviews. Do you offer many different services on Fiverr, or do you like specialize in something or on Upwork?
Oh, actually, um, fun fact. I didn't mention this, but when I first started my freelancing career, I did have a job or a gig on Fiverr. And that's how I got my first client, I think.
Nice.
It's so funny. I totally forgot that. Um, but when I did Fiverr, I was supposed to put 3, but I only ended up like having the time to put up 1 before I got a request or interest. So, that's what I ended up doing. And I specialize in YouTube SEO. Like I don't really gear outside of that. I tried, I sometimes I think about it, but the most productive thing is for me to focus on what I know I'm good at and finding clients and working on finding clients for my specialty instead of like not wasting time, but like using time on other things when I could be just working on finding more clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like if you have a niche and you're really like, you already have that one skill that you're very confident in, I definitely think that's something you can leverage on.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So my next question, actually going back to your travels, I want to know how do you? Actually, I think you told me already. I think you said you like to spend 3 months at a time. So I'm guessing you take maybe a tourist visa and then you kind of like wait until you could do a maximum of those number of months and then you leave a country. Is that how you do it?
Yes, I prefer to stay as long as possible with my tourist visa. So that's like up to 6 months in some places. But I also am some people would say lazy, but I just like to spend longer. Most recently, where a lot of these people are, Dahab, I stayed in a small town in Egypt, named Dahab. My tourist visa was only 30 days, but I actually overstayed it because I don't like staying in places for only a month. Like, I just will not do it. Like, I thought I was going to leave, but I never left. It was so hard to leave my friends there. And so instead I overstayed. And then for that, I was supposed to pay a fee, but I didn't pay it. They didn't, they were fine with it. So yeah. So I just try to stay as long as I can in places.
And how do you plan out your work schedule? Like, how do you like balance, your travel, your work, and also like, moving from one place to another? Do you have like a set schedule, or how do you plan out your schedule?
So the best way, because I can stay in places long, is to get into a routine. My routine is like the reason why I'm productive. So it usually starts with like my own like morning routine. Like I have the morning to myself, and then I have lunch, and then I start working around like 1 to 2, something like that, maybe 3, depending on the day. And then I get to work, and each day is typically different. It's usually like on Monday, it depends on your work, but on Mondays, it's like for me, like a day to reflect, a day to write. Wednesdays are my coaching days. That's when I have my calls. That's when I talk to my clients. And then Tuesdays would be like content days. And it's different. It changes from place to place, but that's like the best way I have found, like having different days for different things. And then just having like a set time to work, because otherwise I will just like spend my life having fun at the like I have to set a time, like, or then like people would want to hang out and I'd say yes immediately. But like if I have a set time to work, that's when I get shit done. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's funny. So you usually set your morning for yourself. So I'm guessing it's probably like some exercise, maybe having a good coffee.
Yes. I love my breakfast. I love, like, it's like my coffee. Like, I don't really drink coffee, but like every day I have to have like fried eggs or whatever I want for breakfast. But usually it's fried eggs in some form. And then it's like my ritual. And then, I go work out at the gym. And then go home, shower, and then have lunch. That's usually my morning routine.
And then how many hours do you say you usually spend doing work? Or is it more like you just choose certain days to do, I don't know, do you still do freelance work?
Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, I do have freelancing days. That would be like Thursday or Tuesdays or Monday after my reflection time. It depends on like how busy the week is. What was your question?
I was just gonna say, like, how do you schedule like your time for work? Like,
Oh, yes. Okay.
how much time do you spend working, for example, like that kind of thing?
Okay. It like varies from like 3 hours a day to 5 hours a day, and it's usually like 3 to 5 days a week. So it's the most recent, like this year, I start working in the early afternoon, and then most recently I would end around sunset time because my friends always in the hub, they like always had sunset beer, so that would motivate me to stop working around sunset so I could hang out with them. Because yeah, otherwise I would work like all night. Like I could like not, I could like, I'm like a workaholic almost. Like once I'm in the zone, I don't like to stop. So having like a set time, like dinner time or sunset time and evening was like a good cutoff, because otherwise like I would keep working. Peace out.
I like that. I like that. When it's dark, it's time to get off.
Yeah. I need a life too. That's like why I started it. I didn't want to just live to work, which is what I feel like is really popular in North America. Yeah, and I was like, no, like I can't keep working. Even though I like it now, I have to like enjoy my life, especially when I'm living in places that are amazing to experience. Like, why would I not experience it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna ask, like, yeah, but the sunsets are so long now because it's the summer. So would you work 90 hours a day?
There they weren't that long.
Okay. Here today it's gonna be very long for you.
It's 6 and it's so bright.
It's gonna be bright until 9:30 in Toronto.
Portugal, and I was like, wow, that's awesome.
So having it until you work until sunset is probably not a good idea in Toronto.
True, yeah. Right, not here. So it depends on the place. Like that was only like in the hub because they had a reasonable sunset. But yeah, here like it would probably be like dinner time.
Awesome.
Like I need to stop. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's still pretty good. I mean it's still a good 5-6 hours a day. You know, if you start after lunch. And you know, it's like from like 1 to 6, it's still a good 5 hours if you're productive during those times.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I need, like 3-5 hours.
Yeah, and like you said, you split it by days as well. So you'd be like, today is a content day. So I'm guessing that's when you set out your content for your page, for your Instagram.
Yeah, that's usually Tuesday. Today I had coaching calls.
Nice.
Yeah, just down here. So, and like, because I'm on call, I was like, okay, I'll be in the zone so we can do it today.
And then with their coaching calls, I was just curious too, like, do you teach people, like, I'm guessing you teach people how to freelance?
Yeah, typically.
Is it anything specific, or you just kind of like help them find their niche?
Yeah, I help them. It's very personal. So like whatever works for them. I see, like, I analyze their skills. We talk about what they would want to do, what is needed, and then we go from there, like how they can find clients specifically and what works for them, their preference on how to meet people and stuff like that. Nice, super individual.
I like it. Yeah, because coaching is very, very personalized. It's really what you need.
Yeah. And it's like the journey to becoming a digital nomad is so different for everyone. Like, some methods work better for others, and some people have different connections. Some people just like nobody works the same. So when you want to work for yourself, it's always good to be able to get like personalized help so that you can see what would be best for you, what guidance helps you.
I like it. And then I was going to ask you, so how do you usually make friends, I guess, when you're in these areas, especially if you're living there for 3 months? Do you want to like get to know the community, like you said?
Right, yeah. So it changes, but depending on the place. If I am looking to meet people, sometimes I would go in Facebook groups before. I'm in a couple communities online where it's like people that like the same things I like. And that's what I did for Istanbul. Before I lived there, I didn't really know that many people. So I like put it in a Facebook group of other people that like to make travel content. And then there was a good amount of people coming there. And then whenever we met up, we met more people at an event. So we met at like a pub quiz or a trivia night. North America, we call it trivia night, I think.
Yeah.
And then people were like you meet people, and then we would go to more events hosted by this organization.
Nice.
So sometimes it's events, and then most recently in Baja, hello, my friends in Baja, I would meet people like through places, but like the town is really small. So like once you met one person, like you could like meet everyone like so quickly.
Oh,
And
interesting.
like the first way I met someone was at the gym. So I go to the gym like really often. So I would see people, I would hear people, and then like because the town is small, like I had to like make friends like on the street from people that were at the gym. I'll be like, oh, you go to Reddit gym, right? So yeah. But then like once you met one person there, you can meet so many people because everyone there was so friendly and they would introduce you to everyone else. So yeah, it just depends on the place. Events, just going to places regularly. That's how I like was able to get really good friends. Like going to the gym regularly was how I had really good friends in both places this year, Istanbul and the Egypt. Yeah, the And then in previous years, it would be like living in the same place as people. So like my first time as a digital nomad, I lived in a co-living. So everyone that was living together were like basically friends. And that's how most recently I went to Portugal. Like that's where I came from last night. And that was one of my friends from my co-living. So we like lived together in Colombia and we kept in touch. I kept in touch with a lot of my friends from the co-living. So like if you can, like I definitely suggest looking into living with people because it doesn't just have to be in a co-living. Like even like an Airbnb shared place could get you really good friends. That's how I also made friends in Istanbul. My roommate had so many friends and he was super social. So like that's how I also made roommates. So living with people, going to places regularly like the gym, going to events. There's so many ways. Sometimes I would even just come up to people. Like if I saw a girl that looked cool and like she like looked like she could like we could hang out, I would come up to her. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. So you're talking about co-living as in like maybe living with a roommate or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it could start. Or official co-living. But not all places have good co-living.
Yeah, I've heard that there's some co-living digital nomad places these days or they're popping up.
Yeah, and those are so cool because it's a lot of people that work online. So like you guys care about being productive, but you guys also want to enjoy life. So it's like the best balance because you guys have the best of both worlds.
Have you lived in one of those? Like co-living digital nomads places?
Yeah, like the first co-living I lived in was kind of like that. There were a lot of people that weren't digital nomads too, but there were also a lot of digital nomads. So like you could resonate with people and then like you would just like say yes to the people that like were able to hang out, or you would say no if you had to work. So it was also really admirable because like you could see some of the people working because there was like a shared working space. So you'd be like, oh, maybe I should be productive. Yeah, and then you'd be like, oh, like she's going to her room to work and not up here socializing. Maybe I should not be socializing. So it would be like a good balance.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. And I also noticed that like there's like these digital nomad retreats coming up these days and people travel together for 3 months and live and work. It's so interesting.
Those are so cool. Those are really cool because like one of the things people don't like about being a digital nomad is because you're always moving. So like you could always be like starting over again. And some people don't like that. So like being able to stay with the same group for a while is really nice. That's what happened to me in Colombia for like 6 months. Like the friend group, like it stayed pretty consistent. It was awesome.
Yeah, I find the most important thing when you're living abroad or living somewhere else is that community because it really makes a difference in your experience.
Yeah, it really does. Community, like I kind of preach this a lot. Like that's like why I stayed in Dahab forever because like I love the people there and yeah, it was so much fun. And like you can, for me, okay, so like I had like this debate in my head about going to Cairo. And Cairo is like where like the pyramids are in Egypt and stuff like that. But like I like could not leave my friends. And like for me at the end, like all the places you want to go on your bucket list, like they're typically like still going to be there no matter what. Like, but like people will not. Like I don't think I will ever have the same group of people that I lived with in Colombia together again. So I'm really glad like I was able to stay with them while we were together, because like trying to get them, like I've actually tried, like trying to get them together again in another setting, another time, it's so hard and so impossible. So like the people you're with might not stay the same. Like especially if it's a big group, like it's so hard to get people together. But like the places you want to go will still be the places you want to go. Like they will rarely change.
For sure. And I mean, actually, they will change because they'll start developing and they will look different. So, like, sometimes I like, if I been to somewhere, I'm just like, I wonder what it's like, now and compared to 5 years ago when I'm there. Like, sometimes I go off on this daydreaming thing. I'm like, how much has it developed in the last 10 years? I should go back.
Yeah. Like, if you like already know a place and like going back, like you can see a difference. But like, if you just want to go to like see a place and you haven't been there yet, it's like it's still there. Like the pyramids are in there for like thousands and thousands of years.
For sure.
Like, they can wait my lifetime. Like it's not gonna be that long.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Nicole was asking about visas. I know we talked about tourist visas. Do you know anything about digital nomad visas? Have you ever tried any of those?
I haven't tried them because I just haven't needed them. Like I'm not at a place where I want to stay somewhere as long as those. But that also there's more work. I really don't like visa work. Like
it's true.
Applying a visa. So yeah, like I haven't, because like especially like those types of visas where it's almost like a residential visa, they take a lot more paperwork, way more like mental space than like just a tourist visa. So I haven't done that. Those are really good for people that want to stay longer.
Yeah. And I know they actually have an income requirement too, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're quite tough. I was looking at one of them, I think yesterday, because one of my friends runs a digital nomad website. And I was looking at it and I was like, the income was like $7,000 or something. And I'm like, this is insane. Like $7,000 a month.
That's a lot. Usually like you don't have to make that much to be a digital nomad. Like
yeah. Or it was like a lot. It was like 3,000-4,000 at least. And but I think I even saw something like 7,000 or something. Like, no, that's insane.
Yeah, it's probably really expensive to live there. That's why they're requiring so much.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I don't understand really what was the question asked. I think she said, would you going back to school impact your path as a digital nomad?
Okay, so I think they're asking like, would it stop me if I went back to school? Would it like change would it change me being a digital nomad? I think it could. It depends on like how your school system is. There are a lot of students that are digital nomads since COVID because they went online. So if you want to go back to school and you can do like an online program, then that could also like help you be a digital nomad, because then like you could still travel. But you can also do like your it's master's abroad, like do your degree abroad and then like work online. That would still make you a digital nomad, even though like you have to be at this place for your school. Like your income is online and you're like in another country, so you are still a full-time traveler. So it depends. Like you can still be a digital nomad if you want to go back to school. That it just depends on like the structure of your school and how you want to do it. There's no certain way, like I said in the beginning, of how to travel. So if you want to travel and stay at this place wherever, it doesn't even have to be abroad. Like you could just like live outside of your town and still be a digital nomad, because like your income is online. And that's like the main part. Like you want your income to be online so that you're like location independent. And then if you want other areas of your life, so not your income to be forcing you to stay in a place, then that's where you can live. Like the nomad part is super personal. If you want to be a nomad and stay wherever your school is, but your income is online, then yeah, that works for you.
Yeah, and definitely like with like you mentioned, like with not Nomad, with COVID, everything's changed, right? Like everyone's been online.
Yeah.
Like I've been online for 3 years. I mean, I'm still at home, but like I mean, I've been working online for the last 3 years, and it's just given me so much time back for just the stuff that I love to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Like whenever I was in school, I would wish that it was remote because I was like, I could travel, I could do so much if I was remote. And then like my last year, it did it because of COVID, and I
Nice.
live my life now.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it just changed everything, right? Because that kind of lifestyle people couldn't imagine in the past. It was very traditional. And now suddenly we're just like, oh wait, we could actually do this.
Yeah, you could. It's so possible now. Like it's like COVID opened up a lot of opportunities for people to live life how they want, see the world how they want. It's been like almost a blessing, I would say. In some
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah, very
For sure. So let's talk about so back to digital nomad. What do you think are some of the best perks that you enjoy being a digital nomad?
Okay, so the best perks is definitely like being able to be wherever you want because that like gives you like so many opportunities. Like if you wanted to live with your family, you could live with your family because sometimes some people like traditionally, if you had an office job like in a random town, like
you would have to live there really far away from home. Yeah, for sure.
Your home is like not there. That it gives you that opportunity. If you like, if the love of your life is a foreigner, that like you, like becoming a digital nomad lets you be able to live with them. Like if you just want to travel like me and like not let anything stop you, it's becoming a digital nomad is one of the best ways I found to get anywhere I want. It also like lets you meet so many people. I have like met so many amazing, great people. My life has changed because I met so many different people and good and bad ways. Like it's just been so nice. Like one of my favorite things to travel was meeting all these cool people that changed my perspective on the world, and now I get to do it all the time. Oh, there's just so much.
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead.
My favorite. Oh, sorry. I have to say my favorite. My favorite.
Yeah, go for it. I can't wait to hear it.
It's like experiencing life in different places. So like some people start becoming a digital nomad because they just want to travel.
Yeah.
Then like once that's happened for me, like it's become less like just wanting to see things like the Eiffel Tower and seeing like this and that, but more like really experiencing life. Like now that I'm like back in North America, I'm like I just get things delivered. Like I have an app and things just get delivered to me when versus like in Egypt, like I had to like know the person that was delivering personally or the store and they would deliver it. And like the food is so different in all these different places. Like I just had pork the first time in months because I've been living in Muslim countries. And like recently, like when I was in Portugal, I had pork again. So like seeing like how people shop is different. And like the biggest culture shock in Egypt was like buying eggs. And like I eat eggs so much and I didn't think it could be so hard to buy eggs. It's not that hard once you learn about it, but like I like did not know. Like I went to the store and they had like stacks of eggs and I'd be like, okay, so how do I buy one of these? And I couldn't just take it because like there was no cover. So I was like, I don't know how to buy it. So I like spent like a week without eggs. They didn't know how to buy it.
Poor girl. Oh, that's great. Yeah, and I think you made a really good point because I've lived abroad for a couple of years too, and I think it's different when you travel and when you live somewhere. When you travel, you kind of just get a glimpse of everything, but when you're living there, you actually get a sense and understand how people live, or like you understand like for me, like I appreciated so much of North America and Toronto so much more because I was like, oh my God, I didn't have this when I was in this country or when I was living here.
Yeah, it's like when I was in France, like having to pay for cash for everything was so hard. Like I was like, what? And then here, when I could just tap with my card, I don't even use my wallet anymore. It's amazing, like so convenient.
Yeah, I mean, people here, like, they even tap with their mobile, right? Like, you could just take your mobile. You don't even have to take your wallet. Like, you just tap with your phone with the app.
That would save so many headaches, like from like when I was like living like in Texas. Like if that was like a thing sooner or like more popular, like I think it's getting better now. But like a couple of years ago, it wasn't. And I'd be like, dang, now I can't buy food because I don't have my wallet. And I'd starve.
Yeah. So it's just so convenient. Like, I remember one time I didn't bring my wallet, and then my friend doesn't bring cash, but then they had they could just tap with their phone, and then I just like pay them through the app with my bank account. I'm just like, here, I'll just pay you back right now.
I love that. I love technology.
Yeah,
I miss the most about North America. But there are other places where the technology is really nice.
Egypt, very advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very advanced. You know, Japan, China, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Right. So
they're ahead of our time.
it makes us feel so slow here in North America. We're just like, what is this? We're actually pretty blessed here, you know?
That's too far ahead for me. Like I don't know how to enter. Well, I'll get there one day.
And then my other question on the opposite side is, what do you think are some of the challenges living as a digital nomad?
Okay, so the worst one. Okay, first, actually, what people think is the hardest is being away from home.
Mm-hmm.
But people get used to it. It's like moving cities, like moving away from your family. So, like, I don't think that ends up being the biggest one. And then once you're like enjoying your life, like, you're like, I don't know, like surfing amazing waves. You're like making like the best memories. Then you're not like really worried about life at home. So the worst thing for me, I would say, is like leaving, because like you're always on the go, or like getting attached.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, why do I have to leave? Or you get attached to the people. And you're like, why do I have to go say bye? Like, I don't know if I'm going to see them again. Like, hopefully you see them again. But some people, like, sometimes it doesn't work out. So yeah, the worst part is like the like getting attached and like leaving for me.
And I definitely can see that, because you're living there for 3 months and you made a life for yourself there. You do definitely get attached, like you said. Like you're like, I remember like in the beginning you were saying that one of the most important things for you is routine. So you're so used to that routine, you know, and having that circle of friends. I can definitely see that it's hard for you to leave.
Yeah. And then like having to pick up and go and stuff that. But it's also like with traveling, like when you go to a place that you really like and then you have to leave because like you only had a couple of days to vacation, like it's also sad to like go. Like I was in Lisbon only a couple of days and I was like, wow, like I can see myself living here, but I have to go because I have a wedding in Canada to get to and stuff like that. So like it can be really hard.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I find like the thing that's really difficult about living away is actually, like you said, not just the family, but the isolation. But I think when you start developing a routine, and like you said, when you start developing a network, a community, that really makes the biggest difference.
Yeah, the people really make or break an experience. Like if you don't have it, then like it changes. Like you could leave sooner. And like that was my original plan for Dahab. I wasn't supposed to make friends. I was supposed to work and just go. But I'm really glad I made friends. And like it's such a special place. And now I'm like planning how to get back.
100%. I believe like your network, your community, your friends definitely make that impact, because then you're suddenly like, I have a place here. Like you feel at home, which is not something really easy for a lot of people, or in general. Like it's not easy to feel at home at a place.
Yeah, it isn't. It takes work. Like you have to make friends. You have to like get comfortable in the place. But like it's awesome once you do, because like having homes in different parts of the world is such a nice feeling. Like being able to like feel comfortable like feel cozy, like having homes in multiple places is such a great feeling.
For sure. And it's nice that because you're always welcome back too, because like now you have friends there. So they're like, come back. Like, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like, then like you don't feel like you're tied to a certain place. You can be free and still have the same feeling that you had at home.
Yeah. And I think I also like that because you say you always go to the gym. So like you see the same people all the time. So you're already like building that connection that people like know you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I go into the gym and my friend is at the desk and I'm like, and then you see the same people and then
it's awesome. Yeah. I love it. It sounds great. And then I guess my last question for you is, what advice do you have somebody who wants to think about being a digital nomad, or who wants to learn about like how to start this lifestyle and live their life like the way you are?
Yes. Okay. So my best advice would be to not overcomplicate it, because when you complicate it, you're just making it longer. Like, start with what you have. You don't need any more technology. You don't need anything specific. You don't need a certain skill. Like, just start with the skills you have, the technology, devices, gadgets you already have, the people you already know. Like, don't make it more complicated than it is, because then you're just gonna make it take longer. Like, if you like, I'm gonna wait till I get a laptop, or I'm gonna wait until I have X amount of followers, or blah 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 blah. You're just procrastinating when you can travel. And like, why would you want to wait to travel when you want to be a digital nomad? Like, get out there. So don't complicate things. Like, just start with what you have. It really doesn't have to be that hard, and then you'll get there sooner.
I like that. I like that, because I feel like, people right now on Google, they are searching like, how do I become a digital nomad? And then they always like think that they need to upgrade their skills, and they always need to learn a new skill. Like, oh, I need to be a social media influencer, or I need to be this, I need to be that. But like you said, like, you can start with the skills you have and start going on those freelance platforms and start today.
Yeah. And you don't have to be at a certain level. Like, you can find clients or work at your level. So let's say like you're like an okay drawer, then just like work for people that need an okay drawer, or someone that needs a bad drawer, and then you'd be better than what they expect. Okay, like then like you just apply. Like, you'll be able to apply for work and find clients that need you at your level. If you like spend like an extra month or an extra year trying to become a better drawer, then that's just like waiting an extra month or an extra year for travel when you could be starting now.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, already making money online.
Nice. Yeah. And you're right. Like, people need all types of level. Like, no matter what skill you have, it might still be stronger than what they have.
Yeah, exactly. So don't let like your skill level stop you. Like, don't let anything stop you. Just start at the level you're at with whatever you have. You don't need anything special. Like, I just started, and I just posted in a Facebook group, and then I got a client, or I like put an offer up on Fiverr, and then someone messaged me. So like, you don't really like need to wait. Like, why wait?
Yeah. You just start with something you have and go for it.
Yeah. And like, even if you're not in a rush, like, it's good. Like, you could start having extra income sooner. And like, who complains about having extra money?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Nancy. This was so fun. And I feel like I've learned so much from you. Yeah, and I feel like so many people, like, we've had a couple of people here, and I feel like they've learned a lot as well, and just having that motivation to just start today, like you said, and just taking what you have, because we all have skills.
Yeah. Everyone has the potential to make money online. Everyone has the potential to travel. Even like people in other countries that don't think their passport is very good, then like, maybe like they think they're limited on travel, but like, you can travel within your country, and so many countries have so much to offer. Like, being from America, I'm like, There's nothing, but there's so much. And then traveling to these countries that are even smaller, there's still so much to see in these countries. So you could travel within your country or go to the countries you are allowed to go to. Like, don't let anything limit you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing I learned about COVID too. Like people are start traveling their own city and they usually don't do that. But then now they did because of COVID. So you start realizing that, yeah, like everywhere you go, you can always discover something. You just need that motivation.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. COVID, what an eye-opener.
So many lessons, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being here.